Whether you're a professional driver or just driving a four-wheeler, it is of utmost importance that you concentrate 100% of the time on the drive. Energy Trucking has a great offer for company team drivers. They've increased their rate to 80 cents a mile with a guarantee of 5,000 miles a week. That means $4,000 in your bank account every week, guaranteed. For more information, call Adam at the number below. That's Energy Trucking. Now, for a commercial driver, that means that your eyes are constantly in motion. You spend the majority of your time watching the road ahead and far up ahead as well as closer to the vehicle. But you're scanning your gauges, you're checking your mirrors, you're almost doing a circular motion because you want to track everything that is around the truck. Especially at the passenger side, if you're in a few lanes of traffic and there's traffic to the right of you or coming up the right-hand side, you want to be able to keep an eye on that guy because they can disappear out of the sight of your eye. I am not a big believer in training systems involving a desk and a classroom. But one thing I did take that I did find worthwhile was on one of the orientations I did, they taught us the Smith system, and it was very worthwhile. I really liked it. I'd recommend that to anyone. They can hit your blind spot every once in a while. Your mirrors will lose them, but you've got to know that they're still there, and you've got to keep track of them. So you're always scanning. You're always looking ahead. Something else you need to be doing when you're looking ahead is realizing that you've got to leave a big distance between you and the guy in front of you. You've got to leave as much room as you possibly can for safe stopping distance. That's very important because trucks especially do not stop quickly. But you want to be able to anticipate what's coming to, be able to see problems or potential problems up ahead of you that could be forming, and you've got to be ready for them just in case they do. You don't want to make a panic stop in one of these things, or even in a car. You want to have plenty of notice because you've seen it coming. I know that driving schools sometimes cite that you want to leave one car length for every 10 miles an hour that you're going out in front of you, and I don't follow any pattern or set rule like that. I just leave as much room as I possibly can in front of the truck. Trip planning will help you stay safe on the road. If you know your turn's coming up and you can anticipate when to start to slow down, when to ease off the fuel, so you're not making a sudden turn, a jerk turn, you're just easing down and smoothly making the corner. That's much better. And the GPS should warn you of, the corner that you want coming up. You should be able to see it on your screen even. But trip planning is a huge help to drivers professionally because they know what to expect and when to expect it. As you've heard me say before, probably the biggest danger to you as a truck driver are the four-wheelers because often they're very unpredictable. They'll do certain things they won't check. They won't look to see if it's safe. They'll just surprise you. And this is the type of thing that you need to anticipate. That's part of why you have to keep an eye on the four-wheelers on your passenger side and in your blind spot. Leave plenty of room out front because you want to watch what they're doing because they can't always be predictable. So if you see a guy sitting out on a side road waiting to pull out, you've got to anticipate that he will pull out. Not that he'll do the smart thing and wait for you, but that he will pull out right in front of you at the last second, because all sorts of times they do. Now, something that's indirectly related that I do is I go a few miles an hour slower than the flow of traffic, and that gets everything to go by me, and that way I'm not in trouble if I do need to make a turn or a stop. I've got nothing on my tail. I let everything go by me by going just a little bit slower, and the four-wheelers get annoyed and they want to get out and around you and get gone. And the more open space that I have around the truck, the happier I am. Some things that I see drivers doing that I don't like is I see guys driving with little earplugs or headphones on, listening to music. And that's a bad thing to do because you never know when a sound will alert you to an issue. like a tire blowing or something like that. And these guys with the cell phones that actually look down in their lap at their cell phone while they're driving, or they're trying to text or something. That's crazy to take your eyes off the road. At no point should you ever do that, because it takes a split second for something like a child to jump out in front of you. It's just, you've got to be focused on the drive. Something else truck drivers need to remember is that when you're checking your mirrors, you want to be looking to the back of your trailer and beyond. You want to have a quick peek at the tires, as much as you can see at them anyway. Make sure there's no issues with your tires, or your brakes aren't smoking. But you also want to see what's behind the trailer, and whether or not a guy is trying to sneak in there into your blind spot right behind the vehicle. And that's a dangerous thing, but people do it. Motorcycles do it to try to get out of the weather. They'll tuck in behind the trailer. And if they do that, you want to be aware that they are there, because if you slam on your brakes, you're going to be wearing a motorcycle on your back doors, and you don't want to hurt anyone like that. So you've got to look behind the trailer and as far back as possible when you do a check to see upcoming problems or situations. Truck driving is a dangerous thing. Driving, even your four-wheeler, is a dangerous thing. You've got to be paying attention to what's going on around you and in front of you all the time. You can't be looking in the back seat chatting to the kids or anything like that. You've got to be focused on what is going on around you and what is coming up that is going to affect you in traffic flow or anything like that. It's serious business. You've got to stay 100% focused 100% of the time. Don't be daydreaming. Don't be thinking about something else. Be thinking about your driving and nothing else. I know as vehicles get smoother and more complicated with more electronics, it's easier to be lulled into a sense of security when you're behind the wheel. But don't make that mistake, because you've got to be on your game all the time behind the wheel. Remember, professional driving takes all of your attention and focus. Stay safe, keep the rubber side down, and we'll see you on the back haul.